a live button, but nothing is on it.
It should be on now.
Wait.
It says waiting for Move Media.
Yeah, I got the same thing.
What about now? So I just press go live.
All right, let's see.
Oh, hold on. Now I think it is. Something just popped up.
Hold on. Still waiting.
That's why I wanted to come on early so we get these.
That's good. Yeah, get the kinks up.
Yeah.
There we go.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, now you're live.
Yeah.
Stop sharing my screen.
I just press go live. All right, let's see.
Oh, hold on. Something just popped up.
It's a little delayed.
Yeah, it's just
muted.
Yeah, it should look.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on.
It's just delayed.
Like, the fuck?
It's just delayed. It's just delayed.
Somebody got to mute their YouTube though, so I don't know. I hear like when
Yeah, that's me. It's me and shit.
Well, I suggest just one of us watch it because that slows the bandwidth. So just
I'm turning this shit off.
yeah, somebody should just keep an eye on it. I mean, Docs, we got the professional internet in the studio, so you keep an eye on all this stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull it up in the background.
I mean, what I'm gonna do is just actually put this page just on Instagram so people can see that we're going live, and then we can just tell them to go to the YouTube. Let me see actually if my link in my the link works. One second. Just making sure that link that you sent works. Yep, it's good. And then we can just go to the YouTube. It's good, Docs. And then
I got this in the background. You see us? Oh, you don't see us, but you do see us. You see it?
That's it, yeah.
It's live. It's right there. But yeah, we gonna start at 9 o'clock. I mean, get in.
Right, cool.
The stream started already. See, we miss him. My bad. We get him back.
Professor, right?
He be always on some extra shit, man. You see, he's gonna throw it everything on. He said, "Yo, I got 3 videos out." Blah, blah, blah. Yo, what up, Professor?
Yo, what up, man? It kicked me out for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
You was doing too much.
They said your beat was too crazy.
Yo, but did y'all see like the animations and stuff like that?
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, that shit was fire.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of just having a beat play or showing me beating on some pads, you create an experience. And all of the clips are 2 minutes long. So like, if I had that on a streaming site, I'm guaranteed getting a stream off of that.
True.
You know what I'm saying? You watch the
Yes,
first,
sir.
you watch the intro, banging hard. Yeah. I got you. I got my 30 seconds in.
Mhm.
Good.
Hold on, I'm just putting this 9 p.m. situation on my Instagram.
All right, so I know Cass, I know Docs. I think I know D Julian, right?
Yeah. Well, I can't know if you know me, but I know you for sure.
I met you in the studio, right?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm history,
Okay.
artist, whatever, producer, all that good stuff, you know.
We probably should when it's 9, right? Like we probably gonna do this again,
ourselves.
reintroduce ourselves and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
We introduce ourselves, but this is just for us, so we can know. Yeah, I ain't know you produced like that history. I was like, I was checking your shit out. I was like, wow.
Yo, thank you, bro.
Yo, Senor Venta, you might want to, that's some competition. Yo, that's a versus right there. I got the same type of style and all that.
Word.
And you also could change your name in the corner of your
Oh yeah. I'm gonna put let me switch my camera. See, I teach on the same platform, so I understand it.
Oh,
Nice.
we got to use this shit.
This is my first time using the shit.
it's my second time using it.
Yeah, word. It's my first time. I don't even got it. I ain't even make a account. Cass sent me the chat, and I was like, all right, let me just join. I ain't got time to make an account.
Yeah, I just made a quick account too, like just now.
Nah, but this shit is amazing, man. Like we got to start taking advantage of this shit as
facts.
entrepreneurs or as people that do business, because this is the wave of the future. If we don't start doing this now and make it like a regular practice, then we're gonna get left behind. I mean, in terms of everything that's going on right now. So take this as practice for future reference in terms of everything you're going to be doing in the future. You know what I mean? You your own Zoom up with your your own company or your own people and start a live platform for something that you want to talk about. You know what I mean? So this is just something for us to get used to it and make it happen, and people use our faces. Like I said, when the video is done, so 9 o'clock. Let's just start introducing ourselves, starting with from the screen, starting with Cass, me, Julius, D. June.
All right.
History. And
where are we? This is broadcasting on YouTube too.
Yeah, we on YouTube right now.
All right, I'm gonna pull it up on my laptop and then share it on all of my platforms.
How you do that?
Right, that's what we need to know right there.
Well, because I'm on my iPad right now.
He's a technician, man.
The professor.
Yeah.
Like, yo, hold on.
Let me find out how the professor works for Zoom.
See, look, like, got my laptop over here. Got my iPhone, and I got you guys on here. So I can do like 3
How the
things
hell you switch that? How the hell you switch your background?
How's
you
my
click on the 3 dots in the side panel.
Yeah, I see virtual background right here.
The virtual background, and you can like use pictures, like for example.
I ain't got. Okay, so that's probably not in the iPad because I ain't got that option.
No, it's on the computer too.
No, but I'm saying I'm on my iPad. I don't see that option.
I'm on my iPad.
Watching so far, stay tuned. We just working out the kinks. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
7 people right now.
I got people looking at my background. Like I should move some stuff. I got a can of Febreze back there.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's why you gotta have a virtual background, man.
I'm like, damn, what's the hell else I got back there? Damn.
Yeah, man. So I guess we could start. Cash, you want to introduce yourself?
Well, before we start, is my lighting okay?
Your lighting is terrible.
Huh?
You look like I can't see nothing on the right side of you.
Yeah, trying to see. I'm talking about me. Can you see me?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. You probably need one more light on in that bitch. Yeah, man.
You be trolling, so I don't know. Everybody else can see me, or?
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, I see you.
I can't complain myself. I'm outside.
Yeah.
Yo, he out there hustling and all that. He on the corner. Like you see the project building in the background, man.
You feel me? Now I'm safe. I'm safely in Starry, actually.
Safely in Starlight.
Yeah.
Yo, hey, I'm recording live from Brownsville, baby.
Right
here on Amboy between Blake and Sutter, baby.
Let's go.
Yo, I'm in the Brooklyn Navy Yard. You know what I mean? I'm really the safe one out of everybody.
Right. I'm out here in the style. You know how we do.
Now I got mad grass and all that.
Yo, Docs, and what's the YouTube page?
I sent you the link in an email. All right, Cash, you want to introduce yourself?
What's poppin'? All right, so this is Gas, Leather Jacket Music, writer, composer, producer, filmmaker, part-time photographer, musician, just all around, I guess, tech and just anything that has to do with technology and art. Anything, painting, anything really that has to do with art, even cooking. Y'all know me. Y'all know I get down in the kitchen too. So, yeah, that's about it. So yeah, just events as well, right? Yeah. So on the event side, that's I do some events. I do some catering. I do some nightlife shit, some VIP. VIP just special events type shit, concerts, all kinds of stuff. So yeah. That's me, and just I'm over here trying to share this knowledge and get some knowledge from my brothers. So let's do it.
Facts. I go by the name of excuse me, Docs Forever. I'm an engineer, producer, writer, I would say, photographer, videographer. I do events as well, and on top of all that, I'm a CEO and entrepreneur. That's all I'll say.
Nice.
All right, Julius B. Kelly, one half of Sunny Side Down Production Media Group, filmmaker, writer, producer, photographer. Basically, do a lot of shit. Reporting live from Jersey in my parents' basement, as you can tell by the setup. But that's me. That's what I do.
Julian?
Man, I was trying to set this light up because I'm trying to make sure y'all can see me. But
no, I was just playing with you. You good, man. You just as bad as me, man. I can barely see my face, but
if anything, face the other way. Face your right.
Face my right? Okay.
Well, I guess if you switch the camera, right.
Got you.
Because I see that the light is coming from that side.
Got you. Just let me know. But
you muted yourself, bro.
Got you.
Muted the audio.
I saw that. D. Julian, recording artist, songwriter, recording engineer, part owner of Mood Media too. You know what I'm saying? With my brother Docs and Moody as well. So, and also during this pandemic, I added something else to my title. I'm a Netflix series connoisseur now, so well versed. You know what I'm saying? So, yep.
Professor. All right. Oh, Professor. All right.
Yeah, got my mic back on. Professor, aka Tony Forge, producer, MC, poet, educator, engineer, and all-around techie. I'm happy to be here, hanging with my fellow musicians and producers and everything, and we about to chop it up, you know what I'm saying, and break this stuff down for you, you know what I'm saying? We want everybody to eat, right?
100%. Thank you for being here. History, what up, baby?
Yeah, what's good, Docs? Yeah, it's your boy History, aka H Illa, my artist, producer, A&R, student, all types of titles that I deal with hip hop. I just live for the culture, and I'm one of those people, one of those young guys in Brooklyn that like to bring people together and different artists together. And I've been around since a young buck, learning from Cass. So, I got a lot of knowledge under my cap for all the people of my generation. So that's like my little thing right there. I teach all the youngins about the actual hip hop, not just 90s rap and beyond, talking about from like 70s and all that. Like, I'm a true student.
So you mean like more so like the culture about hip hop rather than just the actual form and art form of hip hop? You more so with the lifestyle.
History is a historian.
Yeah, exactly.
That's dope. That's a dope aspect. Like, so that's people. I got some questions to ask you too later on and all that. I mean, but you got anything you want to ask anybody? Julian?
Oh yeah, for sure. I just wanted to kind of speak for recording artists that might be watching this live or that's gonna check it out after, the stream is already up. I feel like during this pandemic, I've been seeing a lot of my recording artist friends or just recording artists in general on social media resorting to DIY tactics and doing it themselves because they're recording, their studio is closed for obvious reasons, or maybe their favorite engineer is not working. So I want to speak on their behalf. I have a little recording set up at home, so I know I want to, this question is probably for Docs, Cass, and Professor about what's some tips that you have for artists that are recording at home, especially as far as Professor. I know you was the first person to put me onto the eyeball, and so what's some tips that you have for artists recording at home, and what's some things that they should pick up within their budget that could help them record at home too?
Oh, okay. I guess I'll start it off. The Chaotica eyeball, although not budget friendly, is well worth the investment. I mean, it's $269, but it basically emulates a sound booth. Like, you can put a Chaotica eyeball and sit in your car and record.
Nice.
And it'll make it, and it'll sound great. So it's worth it. So definitely get you that. Also, artists, if you don't know how to mix, don't worry about it. There's services. I know Docs, and you can hit up Docs at Movie Music Media and shoot them your tracks. Kaz do the same thing.
Facts.
I ain't doing all that. But and also there's sites like Lander and a couple other ones that does the auto mixing. But to me personally, I think it's real vanilla sounding. Like it's like a basic mix. It's not going to be what you're going to get from somebody like Docs or Kaz. Like I've seen both of these guys work, and the amount of how precise they are. You know what I'm saying? So definitely try to send your tracks to producers. To engineers and get them mixed down. And also don't sleep on technology. Session Wire is a program where it's for Mac only, but like, for example, let's say I'm recording in Logic. Docs is my engineer. He mixes in Pro Tools. It doesn't matter. We open up a session in Session Wire, and he's recording me 0 latency remotely.
Nice.
Instantly in a DAW, and I think it's like $20 a month. You can't beat that, especially during this time where you really can't go anywhere.
Correct.
My tip, I guess, for any recording artist that's recording at home is the first thing I did in my crib, other than get an interface computer and mic, was started to pay attention to the room I was recording in. So like you can see all these pads on the wall and stuff like that. That's specifically to create an optimal recording space or listening space. So at the house, you don't need the foam and all that stuff on the wall. If you have pillows, you got a couch behind you. If you have a shelf, put some things on the shelf. You see how Cass in the background has things, anything that you can put in that room that can break up frequency.
Diffuse, yeah.
Yeah, diffuse frequencies in your room, in your space. And wherever you are recording at, in terms of when you're speaking into the mic, try to record into the corner of your room, like right where that angle is, and put, if you don't have the eyeball, you put, what do you call those things, Cass, behind the mic?
Which ones?
Filter.
I mean, you're talking about the
reflector.
It's like a half circle.
Yeah,
I just can't.
One of those. Get
reflection filter. Reflection filter.
If you can't afford the eyeball, put it in the corner of your room so you're looking directly at the corner, and try to.
You're talking about the isolators, right?
Yeah, try to pad the corner as much as possible, and then wherever you sitting at. So if my computer is right here, I want to put some padding directly behind me. So because the speakers, they'll be making the music. You got to try to visualize the frequencies, right? The speaker is pushing out frequency. So anything behind you, that's what the frequencies is bouncing off of. So if you can pad the wall behind you, that'll help you get the levels right in your mix. So advice. Just try to do a little padding in terms of, look at the objects in your room, couches, pillows, shelves, stuff like that matter.
Like the old school joint, the egg crate.
Egg crates
used to put on your
egg crates work.
No, I'm talking about the joint that you used to put on your bed and it was soft. You take that, you spray paint it and let it air dry. It's gonna get hard, just like that. Those foam pads, like those pads that Doc's got in there, them Johns ain't cheap. Yeah, but you can make you a knockoff of that with spray paint and an egg crate. I think the egg crates cost like $30. You spray paint with that, and you cut them up and place them. Also, this little joint right here. Hold on.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
I built this.
You built that?
Yeah.
Elaborate. You can't say something like that, and you gotta elaborate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I got the foam, the egg crate foam in the inside, piece of metal. I had help though. I had my uncle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And this is like the stuff that go on vents.
Right. Mesh. That's a spit. That's a spit filter. Yeah.
Yeah. And
spit guard.
Put my mic in there. You know what I'm saying? And this works great when I don't have the chaotic eyeball. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. Oh, also I have to add this because I was working with a client. People recording from home, do not go out and buy stuff that you don't need. If you are recording in the crib, you do not need an Apollo quad.
Facts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't need that.
Tell them what an Apollo quad is.
Apollo quad is the Apollo interface with, I think it has like 4 inputs and like 18 outputs on the back.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that at the crib.
And they call it a quad because it has 4 hard drives inside of it that holds, and it has space basically. Yeah. That's why it's 4 processors of hard drive processors inside the interface. And anybody recording inside their home don't need 4 processors in the interface. You only need 1.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
well, let me touch.
You go to these stores, artists. When you go to these stores and you're working on your home studio, they're going to try to upsell you. Like
right. That's the issue right there. Yeah.
How much is a quad? $2,000? Some stupid shit like that.
Right.
You get a solo, you spending like $600 for a great quad.
Or you get a Focusrite for $200.
So that's what I got in the crib. I got the Focusrite.
I swear by Focusrite. I have 2
That's all you need.
I have the Sapphire and I have the Scarlet Solo. You know what I'm saying? Now I want to get either an Apollo or Arturia just put out a new interface I really like. But again, I don't like those people at the stores and stuff. They're trying to get their commission up. They're trying to get that bread. So they're going to sell you what's going to get them the most bread, not necessarily what you need. It's up to you as the buyer to do your research. You have to do your research, man.
Well, let me touch up on what I think is most important now for like artists that are recording from home, such as, I mean, what Julian is touching up on. I think the room and all that stuff are pretty secondary. So the room, because sometimes actually, like if you go to big studios like Abbey Road in England or big, huge studios, they don't have foam. It's just a room with actual wooden windows. Yeah. Because the sound of the room itself is a character that people want.
But is that inside the recording booth or is that outside where they're mixing?
Inside the recording live rooms, what they call live rooms, not live booths for vocals. Usually that's used for like pianos and strings and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was more so talking about for mixing purposes, like out inside, like not.
No, mixing. Okay, so people in their homes are not going to be mixing, so I wouldn't worry about foam and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. What I would get is something like what the professor just showed now, like something that is just can change your microphone, but I would focus on recording flat, meaning I would get the best mic available. If you want to like just do ideas, you can do that with a iPhone microphone. If you're just talking ideas, we shouldn't even be having this conversation because they're just ideas and you're going to go to another studio to re-record them professionally. If you want to do vocals and actually do real vocals, meaning like you do vocals and you might not have to redo them again, then you might have to get you a flat, what we call a flat microphone, meaning a microphone that would capture you flat and give the engineer all the options. One of the best tools that's out right now is that what is it called? That Slate ML1. Yeah, it's called the Slate ML1 virtual mic system. So it's actually $700, but I think they have a $300. They have a $300 situation right now. That microphone you can be at home, recording at home with a super flat, and it comes actually with a preamp, super flat, and then you give it to somebody like Dax or me or Julian, and we can turn that into Beyonce's vocals. So to me, a real artist that is a real art, that someone that actually a real recording artist should just invest $1,000 for their home setup. Meaning you buy a microphone and a preamp, kind of like the Slate Digital situation. You just get that.
Kaz, I'm looking at it right now. You talking about the VMS one?
The VMS one is the system. So the ML1 is the microphone you want.
It's the microphone, okay.
So like, the VMS
is affordable. The VMS is
VMS is the whole
$1,000.
system.
What?
VMS is the entire system. You don't need that.
Okay.
What you need is the ML1, which I think is $500 right now. It's usually $799, but I think they're running a promotion, $300 off until like June 2nd. I believe I got an email like last couple of days.
All right, so
And
let me switch the subject real quick.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
we're getting real technical.
Interested in
Right.
film. I had a couple questions for my homie Julius B. Kelly. So I'm interested in eventually doing short film myself. I mostly just work on recording videos. I mean music videos. You know what I mean? Doing or commercials. I feel like when you work with short films, that's a whole art form and process that a lot of people don't seem to understand or don't know where to start in terms of going about, making that happen. And you are somebody who actually has the experience of shooting these short films and actually directing them, which is amazing. Could you give us shine some light on what would be a good thing for somebody that just picked up a camera and want to start doing a short film, or what would be the steps? Should they focus on the storyboard first? Should they focus on the screens, the shots that they want first, or just tell me a little bit about that.
I think the first step is to pick up a camera. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing. That's the first step when it comes to making anything as far as a film, music video, anything like that. And when it comes to short films, you have like this short span to tell this story, to make people understand what you're trying to tell them. What I do and what I like to do, because I write as well, I usually get ideas from listening to music or something I go do personally. I don't storyboard. I don't storyboard shit. That's me though. Like people do it. I can't draw for shit. So I don't storyboard. But yeah, man, you usually comes down, I come up with a story, I write the script, I go over a couple of drafts. I send out to people I trust for their judgment. Okay, what do you think about this? Because if you're going to spend time on something, you want it to be quality and you want the shit to make sense and you want to feel it. You want to put your love towards it. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys probably...
Because you went over some important things you just said. You said you came up with the idea and wrote the script.
Yeah.
That's two major parts right there.
He said that all nonchalant.
Yeah, he said, I came up with a script.
Look, I did screenwriting in grad school, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Does it take a certain type of focus or to actually come up with the idea and sit down and really get that script started? And how do you know when to start and end the script? And how long is your scripts usually?
Dude, it depends on what story you're trying to tell. I have wrote feature film scripts. I have wrote short scripts. Like for example, I'm working on this script now. It's only 8 pages. It's 8 pages because it's a short film. I know the story I want to tell. Right. And everybody's writing process is different. Nobody's shit is the same. My shit is just like, and you also gotta let your sometimes we let because also it comes down to the budget as well. That shit gets inside your brain and fucks with your writing process. You may not have that much money, so let me slow it down. But my whole idea is just let your imagination go. Just let it go. You write what you can or whatever. But I just come up with ideas, bro. Like something I want to do. Like that's it. That's how I do it. I don't know.
All right. So after you come up with the idea, right? What's the next step in terms of actually getting the shooting done? Or is it scheduling, finding actors that fit your image of the idea that you have in your head? And can you also put these steps towards creating music videos rather than short?
Yeah. You can put all that. So, bam, you do the script. Script is done. Everybody, you get the script. You send it out. You usually want to work with a producer, somebody that's going to take care of shit. You got to get your... What you say?
What is a producer?
A producer is someone that's... How can I put it? How can I put it? A producer is someone that's going to help you get the shit done. You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody's going to make the phone calls, do what you got to do. Somebody's going to have your back, and somebody also that believes in the project the same way you believe in it. And so usually you get a producer, somebody to help you create a team a team of people that you want to, as far as a cinematographer, cinematographer, it's a lot, audio, actors, it's a whole team of people. It's so much to explain.
So who usually gets those people involved? Is it the producer? Like, okay, so does the director come to the producer like, I have this idea, or does the producer come to the director like, I want you to direct this movie that I have?
It can go both ways.
Sometimes it starts with a script, yeah. Sometimes the script is the first, yeah.
Yeah, like it goes both ways or whatever. I know when it comes down to me, I know people, whatever. I know who's gonna get the job done that I need to get done. So I'll reach out to some people. Okay, this is what we want to do. Do you like the script? Let's go over it. And they feel it. Like as far as like I know actors, I know producers, I know assistant directors. I just know people that I work with over the years, and I know what they're good at, and so I hit them up and we'll get it done. But also one major thing that's always like this bump in the road is the budget. Like you're talking when it cuts like the budget as far as money wise. Sometimes money wise, as we all know, can constrain us from doing shit. But that also goes back into what you guys were talking about earlier. Do it yourself. Yeah. So do the shit yourself. Usually I have spent my own money when it comes to my films or whatever in certain films because I believed in the project that much. Sometimes I had backing. You do like your crowdfunding, but the whole shit with crowdfunding nowadays, the shit ain't popping like it used to. Before it's like, okay, how many times we gonna get this man money for doing a film over and over again? Know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, man, it really depends on a lot, bro. But yeah, just need a good.
I got some technical questions for you.
Oh shit.
I know people like, especially during this time. I'm just kind of like being another human dealing with this crisis situation. A lot of people might want to start right now. Like a lot of people might want to shoot their first film on an iPhone. So now, what do you recommend from an iPhone standpoint? Is there like certain apps that are good for shooting film? Is there is there a cheap way to do audio? Because I mean, usually when I watch a film, the first thing that's kind of like lets me know if it's a professional situation or not is audio. If it's like, if I hear it and it sounds like just the camera microphone, I'm already turned off. I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to watch this. So is there a cool way or a cheap way to actually get something done, either with a real cheap camera, something like under $1,000, or using like an iPhone or like one of those like Filmic apps or one of those like dope apps?
When it comes to, you're gonna hear the audio anyway because you're an engineer. Engineers always pick up audio. You're gonna pick shit up like, what, that shit sounds weird. But when it comes to an iPhone, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't own an iPhone. I don't own shit that's Apple. Only thing I own Apple is probably these Beats headphones I have in the background.
That's my favorite guy.
You and Docs with the Androids, man.
Yo, stop hating, bro. Stop hating.
Hold on. Does your phone use AA batteries?
But it's a couple of feature films that I know that was shot on the iPhone that came out. It's one on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it. It's slipping my mind. It got like heavy awards. It was a feature film.
Nice.
I don't know. It's a couple of films that was made with the iPhone. Audio wise, like audio, you have to be very particular, which you guys all know, your engineers and shit. I don't think it's a cheap way to go around that shit.
Yeah, there's no way.
I've learned that I don't want to shoot. I need external audio anytime I do.
Yeah, it's gotta be
commentary or talking. You gotta figure out how to get a mic in that motherfucker and hang it over to people. Like, I don't care what it is.
So let's talk
audio straight from the camera is gonna be trash, bro.
So let's talk cheap equipment.
Field recorder joint. Tascam makes like a field.
You need an audio interface and a mic.
The D5, I think. Or is it a D5? What is it called? D5 or something like that?
I forgot. Some shit.
But I will say this, like, and I only say this because now I have to teach my production class online, and my kids don't have computers, so we're producing through iOS, and we're also using GarageBand in conjunction with iMovie to make tutorials and reviews. Now, I will say this: the iMovie is dope. So if you like iMovie, get Final Cut.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like the the way I think even for film and photography, I think that advanced faster than music did on iPads and stuff like that. Because you can basically get started designing and filming. If you get an iPhone and an iPad.
Yeah.
And they have like the apparatus to, like, I seen one where you have your iPhone and you drop it in this thing and it puts a telephoto lens on it.
Yeah.
And it has like a little swivel grip and you like, and the joint is like $100.
Yeah.
You know, and the only reason why I know about this stuff is because my wife does film and photography.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's like, actually a good spot to touch up on. So when you're doing Julius, for example, when you're doing a movie, and you usually just hire a sound guy, right? So what does a sound guy need to have?
Usually they come with their own kit. Usually
like the necessities.
Need a boom mic, need a boom pole, need a sound. The fuck? You need a sound. Damn, slipping my mind. Usually that's about it, man. Like I have guys that come with a lot of shit, like a van and shit. Some people just come with a simple just backpack and their fucking, like we said, the hash can, whatever, and the boom mic, and also your lavaliers and shit.
That's what I'm saying. So you usually use both lavaliers and your boom mics.
Yes,
correct. You gotta get both, right?
Yeah, to capture good audio. Because if not, you're gonna have to do ADR or whatever. That's not.
So this is
extra work.
I recently purchased this because I was doing a commercial.
That's a boom mic. Yep.
It's the boom. So I was doing a commercial and I used a regular mic. I don't know if you saw it online. The audio came out cool.
The same mic. That's the Rhodes shotgun boom.
Shotgun boom. So I want the way I practice things, right, is I try to practice on myself before somebody hires me and I fuck up their shit. You know what I mean? So I usually do the engineer's corner. I use this a lot on the audio in the last couple ones. And if you pay attention to it, the way I think you have good audio is it just you don't even think about it. It sounds like fucking audio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Only time when you have bad audio is like, damn, why the audio sound like that? You know what I mean? I don't even think about the audio when I'm looking at it. I just think I'm talking to myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good mic. The Rode mic's a good mic. Yeah.
So, and this is not super expensive.
It's not.
It's a good tool to have. You know what I mean?
That's an industry standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to say because the professor brought up Final Cut Pro, so I do want to say I think it's free for like the next 3 months. Like you could, so anybody out there, right, it's free for 90 days.
Logic, wow, free for 90 days.
Yeah, so anybody out there that's listening,
and if you are in school or if you're an educational organization, you go to the Apple page.
Oh yeah,
you gotta find their educational discount. They have a bundle where they sell main stage, Logic, Motion, Compressor, Final Cut.
Right.
And if you get Final Cut, you need to have Motion and Compressor because Motion does like the animations, and Compressor enables you to export in whatever format or medium that you want to put out there. So like if I want to load a video and I want it for Apple TV or Roku or Chromecast, there's a different I forget I don't know the term, but there's a different rate that you have to export it as.
So I got another question to switch it up again for history. In terms of beat production and you as an artist, do you like? I kind of want to understand your organic process in terms of you selecting beats, you making beats. Is your work focused on a certain sound or for a reason, or is it more so an organic thing where you just have an idea and you just want to make something, or is it more so I'm trying to make this type of sound, like from a production, or is it more so I'm just starting from with no ideas. I don't know what I'm gonna make right now, but I'm gonna make some beats. But where does the idea come from, or what influences the sound?
Well, a lot of the times, most of the time I go with just, you know, a certain feeling. Like it's a certain feeling that I hold on to, that I held on to for like years. And it's like I'm always like chasing for a certain like feeling in the music. And I'll go through like for every beat it's like three that I was like, nah, it's, or like put it to the side for like later or whatever. But I always go for like a certain feeling, whether it's a soulful beat, a trap beat, a drill beat, whatever beat, you know, that I'm working on. I'm just looking for that. Well, I could say the feeling is like how I felt when my father would drive when I was like a little kid, and we'll be like in his car riding around, and he'll be playing the music, like whoever he liked, and just that feeling of being on top of the world. When I heard those songs as a little kid, I always like look for that rush
So you
as
feel like
in terms of like making beats.
so producers are kind of like, I would say like they capture time with sounds and they try to recreate the timing. So is that really what it is? More so try to recreate a feeling or a time that you can that others can relate to? Is that the guts of production?
Yeah, it's like the guts is really like me just going back to like my childhood at the end of the day, like how I felt about music, or like what made me interested in starting, you know, working on beats at 12. Because I started working on beats at 12, or probably matter of fact at 9, but like I started getting equipment at 12. So by that time I already had an idea of like the type of music that I loved. And when I started working on it, it was like, yo, I wanna try to make this like Jay-Z type stuff, this Nas type stuff, or like when Neptunes would drop, or I want to try to make some Neptunes type funny sounding type stuff. And then Kid Cudi come out, and then, you know, every time I got inspired, it was like, oh, all right, I'm inspired by this person, but I want to take what I got inspired by them and create that feeling that I felt when I was a little kid, and turn that inspiration that I got from somebody else, and take that inspiration from when I was a little kid, and just make it something that's now, like something that's how I feel today in that moment.
And I want to say, I want to chime in, and now that we on the producer and production topic, I want to talk about how important post-production is. And I want to ask y'all how often y'all do it. And the reason I ask that is because so as an artist, I know History is sounding like, you know, you make a lot of your beats. Professor, I know you make some beats. Docs, I know you make beats. Cass, obviously. For me, sometimes when producers send me beats, you know, I might cut a record to it. Docs is normally on the boards for me, engineering. One of the most fun parts of creating a record is when I get to go back after I already wrote all my raps and everything like that, I recorded. I get to go talk to the producer, sit down with him and be like, yo, let's pick apart. Now that I have my vocals already on it, let's pick apart the beat so we could kind of highlight certain parts of, you know, of the record. And now it becomes a whole, it's like a collaboration, you know, co-production almost. And now it becomes a whole different type of record. So I want History, Cass, and Docs and Professor even to talk about the importance of co-production. Docs, you know, my first production placement was with Docs. You know, I co-produced what was his man, you know, I apologize, I don't remember your name.
I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah. So and let's just talk about the co-producer culture now. I don't know if y'all know, I'm sure y'all know because y'all well versed in what's going on, but a lot of producers, they'll start an idea, they'll send it to another producer, and you know that producer will put some drums on it, and that's how they're getting more placement.
I actually been like for the past like 2 years, like, cause like on besides like my music and stuff, and me just working with my team and who I work with, all the artists that I work with, I try to, you know, I go out, I try to get certain placements and stuff every now and then. Yeah. And that's when I make like those type of beats that's not normally the things that I would jump on, but you know, just industry sound and stuff.
Yeah.
And when I usually work on those, I have to, a lot of times I see myself having to collab with just other producers because I can't, like, that sound, it just doesn't make me feel like, you know, like, oh, like this is that dope shit. So
yeah.
When I'm making it by myself, it's like I'm going crazy. I'm like, yo, like I start with the sound, and then it's like, I gotta make a dope sound, and then a dope sound that Future will probably like, or son, or whoever, Drake will probably like, whoever hands it'll get in when they hear it. I gotta try to make a decent sound enough just from the melody, you know, from jump, and then down to the hi-hat, the kick, the snare, all of that stuff matters. And then I realized, like, when I collab, it takes a little stress off for me because the person might send a ill-ass melody and an ill-ass 808, and I'm like, oh snap, like all I gotta do is add some dope-ass kicks, snares, and just other filler ideas, and now we got a full production, and all it took was like 15 minutes. And
you get more done that way too.
Exactly.
There are pros and cons.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
tell you, like, me, I've never really collaborated with another producer, but one thing that I do is I'm real big on loops. So that's technically like
collaborating with the creators. Yeah,
because like I haven't made a good trap beat without finding a melodic loop first. You know what I'm saying? I could do the drums. Ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I like, my problem was, like, I'm from the boom bap era. You know what I'm saying? So I like to chop up everything. I don't care. I'm chopping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you can take
MPC.
a loop, right? You can take a loop, drop that loop in there, and let that joint ride, right? And then once you know the key and the pitch, Serato sample, $79. Ultimate cheat code.
Fire.
Once you know the key and the pitch of that loop, now I can take something and chop it up and make my boom track. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll take a melody from anybody. I would love to have somebody on deck who I can actually meet with and, like, yo, I got a melody, boom. But to circumvent that, like, I have all types of tools and tricks. Easy keys, love it.
Yeah.
Another cheat.
I mean, I feel like collabing is cool when it's something that's not personal to you. You feel me? So I feel like sometimes collabing, I mean, you know, compromise kills art. You know what I'm saying? So when you compromise, you're never honest because you're trying to make everyone else happy, and then it's never really you. You know, it's kind of like being a filmmaker, and then you have to co-direct with someone else. Now it's two people telling the story. It's not one person telling the story. Then it's like whatever. And actually, the funny thing is the two points that Julian is talking about actually touch on each other, because if you're doing something that you're doing yourself by yourself, that you're kind of like, you're doing it, you're doing your vision. Therefore, I mean, when I do something like that, I actually do the post production in the creation.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
Feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm actually like post producing. I don't even need to mix a song usually. I don't even need to mix it that much when I'm producing it by myself because I'm actually mixing as I'm producing. So it's like, it's not like I make a beat and then I'm like, all right, well, let's go back and make this drum sounds good. Nah, I'm making that drum sound good from the get-go. Yeah. Like that drum is gonna knock. Like when I choose that drum, I'm messing with it right away before I even like record it. Sometimes I'll record the idea just so I don't lose the idea, and then like right away I'm chopping it. Right away I'm fixing it. I want it to sound great right away. So even when I send it usually when I send my stuff to a mixing engineer that I don't want to mix myself, usually the mixing engineer is like, yo, I can't really do anything except levels because everything is where it's supposed to be. And that's because I look at post-production, it's the name post-production actually is kind of wrong because the whole post-production thing sounds like you got to produce it first, then post-work on it. You feel me? I don't like that. I usually do pre-production. Like my post-production is in pre-production.
Yeah.
Like if I'm working low end, if I'm adding a melody in the high end, that's already mixing. I'm already mixing that where it's supposed to be.
but that's you having the luxury of being a record engineer. And I've been in your sessions, so I know that some like beats that you work on, you have your artists, you know, you're recording your artists too. But there's a lot of producers, unfortunately, that don't have, you know, we can't be in the same room. So that's what I meant more so with the post-production, like, you know what I mean? So they'll after I record the record, they'll come in and you know, we can do it that way.
Yeah, you're talking from an artist standpoint to change stuff. Sure. An artist standpoint, that's cool. I mean, once you're, you know, I feel like an artist has, you know, once you give him a track, then that's a collaboration, because unless you're rapping on your own track, then that's 100% you. But if you're gonna give it to another artist, then it's 50-50, regardless of however you look at, you look at it, because he has to put his own ideas too. And in that case, yes, in that case, if he wants something down, if he wants to take out this like lead melody in the verse and whatever, that's cool. I like that. You know, I like when people collaborate like that. Exactly. But as far as
production side of things, I'm sorry to cut you off, Cash. But
no, you good?
From the production side of things, I'm more so of a producer in terms of creating a sound. Like I feel like I can start a record and don't have to finish it, but still produce it. I can have other people step in and produce and put certain elements in there, as long as it kind of matches a sound that I have in my head. So I kind of work better from the start, just working with the artist there. Like if the artist is sitting right next to me and I'm starting on a beat and they react to something, then I like it, then I feel like, okay, it's time to move forward. Sometimes by myself, I can't hold you. If I start making a beat, I kind of fall back because I'm like, damn, I don't even, but if I got the energy in the room with me and they kind of like, oh, I feel that, then I feel like that's is a sign for me to move forward. So I kind of like producing with the artist there to confirm certain things for me. You know what I mean? That's just me. That's just my workflow.
No, sometimes that works too. Yeah. Sometimes you have an idea, like let's say like what I guess what history is talking about. If you have an idea that you know and you kind of like, you know, it's just been like nagging at you the whole day and you're like, yo, I can't wait to get to the studio to put this idea down. That's cool. Like sometimes some people work like that, you know, including myself. And also some people, including myself also, work like you're talking about. Like sometimes it's just like, yo, I'm gonna give you this dope ass beat or whatever and go ahead and add whatever you want to it. You know, and sometimes it's, you know, sometimes you get to you get like new ideas and even better ideas when you collab with other people. Yeah. So it just depends how you use that energy, you know.
I also want to ask right quick, for the artists that are gonna watch this and the producers and the engineers,
right?
Can we break down for them the difference between mixing a record? And Julius, we gonna get to you. I know you.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. You break on sleep. You like they.
Yeah. No, we gonna get you. We gonna get you.
He watching that Jordan doc.
Yeah. Last Dance. But now, could we break down, you know, Doc's cast and, you know, history? You know, I know, but I want to hear from you guys' perspective, and the artist is gonna watch this. Could we break down the difference between mixing a record where you have the 2-track and where you have the stems of the you know what I mean? Let's talk about that.
You can't even call it mixing if you don't have the stems.
Come on.
You can mix the cast. You can mix the cast. Well, hold on. Let's explain for the people, you know, what those two things are. Stems and
stems to a record is pretty much when the instrumentation is separated and you have separated files for each sound in that beat.
Mm-hmm.
You have everything put together on one track and you don't have everything separated. That is called a 2-track because it's stereo and it takes up 2 tracks. That's it. Now the stems might take up 30 tracks because you have every sound on a separate track. Now, see if the producer is like Cass and he's mixing while he's producing, sometimes the 2-track is good. You know what I mean? Only time I would say it would be a problem for me if somebody sent me a 2-track that was mixed, if I want to take out certain elements of that production. You know what I mean? If I want to change how, you know,
arrangement,
more dramatic, change the arrangement, you know what I mean? And also sonically, if I wanted to pan certain elements of that track that I don't agree that it's pan, that Cass might pan a certain way, I'm like, damn, I wish I could do something with that pan. Meaning, and that panning is meaning going from left to right. That's all panning is. So, and I do think in all cases, sonically, if you have the separate wave files, you're going to get a way better mix. You know what I mean? Because you can still manipulate the texture of each individual instrument. Now, say if the rapper or the singer is singing a little harsh or singing a little soft, you might want to make the guitar a little harsher. You know what I mean? You might, or if they're too harsh, you might want to make the guitar a little soft. You know what I mean? Subtle. And you won't be able to do that if you just have a 2-track. You know what I mean? So if you have everything, you have more control. So I think production is all about control, being able to control every element of your mix. And when you make the beat, you want to control every element of making a beat.
So if you have a 2-track, for example, I feel like a 2-track, you can EQ a certain way and compress, and that's all you can really do. So a 2-track, you can kind of enhance a little bit, kind of like mastering, because but you're not really mixing. I mean, you're not getting into the details like Doc is talking about. You're not really getting into panning. You're not getting into. You can't really add any sort of effects or anything like that because, I mean, if you want to add reverb to the vocals, now you got to add reverb to the whole track, and that's just not cool. So I feel like if you really want, I mean, if you want your stuff mixed, if you're an artist and you really like a song that you recorded, get the stems, because you're gonna need those stems hopefully for like live music. I mean, live shows. You're gonna need to give them to your DJs. You need to give them to your keyboard player. Your band.
Yeah, licensing opportunities,
licensing, remixes. If you buy a song, you buy a track. Don't ever buy a track, 2-track. Always buy stems.
Julius, I wanted to chime back in with you because our crafts are very intertwined with each other in terms of music and visuals. So I want you to explain to me how important is it to have the right audio in your movies and your films, and when you do have that audio, can you explain the importance of levels? And you know what I mean? Like if you're in a restaurant, you have to make the music sound like you're not just throwing audio on top of that scene.
Oh no, right? No.
I've been watching these shits on Amazon, man. Motherfuckers be in the club and the music sound like it's coming from the car. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, so does a mixer engineer has to come in to help you guys with that?
I have been lucky to work with a lot of talented people. One film I did, we did have an audio engineer guy come in to work on the sound, to add things to make sure the levels are correct. Cause like you guys know, you guys are engineers, y'all know when shit is off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, yes, that's been very helpful. Sound is very important. Sound is very important. Music is very important. Music sets the mood for the scene you're watching. That goes for anything. Taking out sound will set up the mood, that the scene that you're watching. So music is very important. Audio is very important, and sound is very important when it comes to filmmaking. I have worked with people that have score music, very talented brothers that I met, very helpful. So yeah, it's very important. When it comes to levels, I have a partner, Christina Chu, CC, shout out to her. She's a kick-ass editor. She levels everything out for us. So she handles all that shit.
Gotcha.
We did actually a couple films last year that we did some sound and scores for that I personally did. Actually, one of them from Jamir and Baron, it was a short film on Amazon right now. I think it's called Everlasting or something like that. Mm-hmm. So we actually won. I won some festivals on audio and scoring.
Cool.
And the issue and the cool thing about it was actually when the one that we won for, the audio was great. So the audio that when it came to me, it was already awesome.
Yeah.
So whoever so that's actually really important. Whoever, if the audio is not recorded well, you can't really do much with it. Yeah. Even though, I mean, we had to add obviously a lot of crowd noise, we had to add a lot of sound design stuff and rain and all kinds of stuff.
I don't watch movies where audio made me not want to watch it. And I watched movies where audio made me feel like the movie was the best thing in the world. I was like, you ever watch an epic scene when the music is just It just
trash.
It's like, like, you know, if that scene didn't have that music, you wouldn't feel the same way about it.
Yeah,
like, it pulls you in differently. Like this.
Docs, I think you were with me this year. You were with me this year when I was working on this other film that was coming out soon. Yeah. So, yeah, you actually submitted some stuff too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that film actually didn't come out yet, but actually that one, like a lot of audio needed to be redone, not from our side. So when they sent us a lot of audio, there was a lot of clippage. Whoever was recording didn't really know what's going on. Like whoever their field audio dude was, was not on point at all, because a lot of audio was clipping. A lot of like door slams. A lot of the stuff was like exploding in the audio. So they had a lot of issues, and actually that ended up costing them like an extra like $50K to redo a lot of that stuff. Yeah. To redo a lot of the audio, because they had to go back and re-record like all the field stuff and some of the conversations and rebook like like actors that actually didn't live here, you know, all kinds of stuff.
And it's tough sometimes to get it, like it's tough sometimes to get it right. I know we booked I had booked some kids, Docs. I don't know if you remember, I had booked some kids from New Jersey. They wanted to do ADR. So I booked them. We had an engineer, shout out to JB. He did that session. And
JB, what up?
Yes, sir. But it's just tough, man, sometimes to kind of recreate, you know what I mean? Like to recreate that natural, that organic, you know, feeling when they initially did the scenes. It's tough to recapture in ADR. As good as your engineer is, it's tough to match that emotion with the work. So it's always, I just want to say it's always great if you could get it on the first. I mean, if you could get it organically, you know.
All right, producers, how important are the drums, man? Like okay, like boom bap, anything, not even boom bap, trap. You know, because I produce as well. That's not my main primary focus, but I love doing it. And one of my things is making sure those drums are like hitting. And sometimes I feel like when I listen to other records or even my records, sometimes the drums might be hitting a little bit too hard because we are told to compress and to do compression, and you know, it's just all types of things you can do to the drums nowadays to make them hit. And I was recently listening to a record that I just love by Griselda, the group. You know, when I listen to their drums don't be hitting. Like
it's grimy though. It's grimy though.
It's grimy. You understand what I'm saying? The drums be like
because they do it's like
you understand what I'm saying? It's not like heavy drums. It's kind of like drums. It's like it's just like
faint. See, like and I can speak on this because I have 1.5 terabytes of drums and samples. So, you know what I'm saying? Like for different genres, your drums have a different sound, a different feel. You know, what Griselda does, if you notice, the snares aren't in there. It's heavy kicks, chopped up sample, sparse snares sprinkled in. They don't have a lot of hi-hats and stuff like that. Boom bap, traditionally, you're gonna have your kick, your snare, your perks, your hi-hats at 1/4 or 1/8. You know what I'm saying? Tick, 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 just like that. What I do is, depending on the type of beat that I'm making, and like I used to get down because I couldn't make a lot of trap beats, and I credit this to Doc. Doc said, "Yo, make the shit that you want to make." You know what I'm saying? And what ended up happening was I came up with my own feel and style. You know, I'm a big fan of Jay Dilla, but I sound more like Pete Rock, Premier, and the RZA, which is cool with me. You know,
that's how you described your beats when I met you. That's what you told me.
Yeah, like, but I love Jay Dilla, but like the texture of your drums, and like do your research on the sound designers. Like, it's cool to get drums off of Reddit and stuff like that, but like I can name 3 sound designers that I know I can't go wrong with. MSXI, dope. Everything they make is dope. All right. Cooking Soul, Beat Butcher, Marco Polo, Apollo Brown, Marv for Mo Beats at Machine Masters. These drums are perfect. Illmind. You know what I'm saying? Like if you join Illmind's Black Kit Club, it's $20 a month, but you get 60% off of all his drum kits. And he gives you 2 free drum kits for joining. So what I did was I joined at $20 off and got the all black bundle, which is like, I want to say $200.
Yeah.
Got it at 60% off. And you have all his black kits, all his loops, all his samples. You know what I'm saying? He just put out a hi-hat pack, and I'm not lying. You take the hi-hat and you drop them in your session.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like the drums, it depends what kind of music you're doing too.
Yeah.
Because if you're going for like, you know, if it's club music and stuff, then yeah, you got, you know, the drums are obviously hip hop.
If it's club, if it's hip hop, they have a different sound and texture.
Yeah, I mean, even other stuff too, like rock needs, you know, you still need like real drums and stuff like that. But the focus is not.
You showed me in Reason, it was like a live drum set.
It's called live drums, yeah.
Yeah,
Reason
that's
live drums.
For rock, like if I'm doing like
that's like $100, maybe $100. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it. If I'm doing like I got beats where I'm going for an old in the church type feel.
Right.
I don't use processed drum. I get the Abbey Road either vintage kit, which is in contact, or the Abbey Road 60s drummer, or like Cass said, because I have Reason now, Cass. I just haven't upgraded to 11. But
nice.
You know what I'm saying? You get that live drummer and you get that feel. Because
sometimes you don't even need the drums, you know, depending on the feel of the song you're trying to make. Like Kanye sometimes don't even use drums, you know, or like Kid Cudi or Neptunes, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
Neptunes don't. Yeah, Neptune's drums are. Pharrell's drums are like usually not heavy at all.
You remember the record we did, My Soul?
Oh yeah.
I had no drums.
I had no drums. Yeah.
No drums.
It still hit, but it ain't had no.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, sometimes
it's all about that bass. At the end of the day,
not even a bass. It's like
it's just the feel of the song. Yeah.
If it's feel
there, but at the same time though, there's more songs that bang with drums than songs that bang without drums.
That's I mean, say that.
Not necessarily. It's just, but the word. I mean, in that case, the word bang is designed for drums. So when you say songs that bang, then obviously no song that doesn't have drums is gonna bang.
Yeah.
So
that bass of that 808. That bass of that 808.
I think Rowdy. I don't know if you guys heard. I think so the Drake song featuring Future, the Life Is Good joint. I think the producer came out and said he didn't have no 808. Like, you know, but it's still bumped. Like to your point, Cass, it sounds like it got 808.
The Neptunes don't really use 808s like that.
That's what I'm saying.
Like drop it like it's hot or something like that. But other than that, Pharrell don't really use 808s because he likes the punch.
Even the number one song in the country a couple weeks ago, The Box, Rowdy Rich. I think the producer said this.
I don't want to give the people too much. I mean, because we about to hit an hour, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Now, what I want to do,
I
want to talk about what we might be discussing. Whoever can make it in the next session, whenever that may be, because I don't want to put a time and date on it when we get inspired. With it. But I think we should talk more about. I just had it in my head about the complications that we have in our crafts, and how we were overcome them. You know, and that's what we want to talk about in the next episode of the live Mastercraft session. Cass, I want to ask you top 5 producers.
That's tough. Hip hop, you gotta break it down.
In order or no particular order.
I'll give you my top 5. If I were stuck in an island and I can only listen to 5 producers, right? I'll start you off with.
Give people names that they could go search.
Right. I mean, obviously, yeah. We'll start like in hip hop, I guess. Hip hop, I'm a little bit musical than, you know, I do DJ Premier is one of my favorites. I like Pharrell Pharrell and Timbaland are like my my heroes when it comes to hip hop because they changed it. They made it musical.
Yeah.
Pharrell and Timbo. I mean Neptunes and Timbo, I should say, because the Asian kid, what's his name? Chad Hugo, right?
Asian
kid. He was pretty dope too. I like George Martin. George Martin, that's the Beatles and a lot of stuff. I like Quincy Jones, obviously, one of my favorite human beings.
That's 5.
I like.
That's 5.
That's 5, Kaz.
I'll give you. I'll
30.
I'll give you another.
Wait. I'm gonna ask you something different. But Julius,
what's up?
I just had something in my head I want to ask you. It was dope too.
God damn.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it simple.
I'll add Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis too. So
Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis.
I can't leave them out. I can't leave them out.
Yeah.
Yo. Side note,
we trying to end. Wait, man.
Man, I'm enjoying this. I'm sorry.
Wait.
You know what? I'm just turning my mic.
Man, yo. Top 5 films that you learned the most from.
Oh, what the fuck?
I know, right? Like,
damn. This gonna draw everybody off, yo. I will have to say Predator.
Wow.
That always draws everybody off. And they're like, what fucking Predator? Because my man, when this shit first start, you think this shit are armed like a war movie, man. Then a fucking alien comes out of nowhere. That shit is crazy. Imagine pitching that shit in the studio. Like, what the fuck? Predator. Shit. The Departed.
Ooh.
Damn.
That's a dope movie. People sleep on that movie. That's a dope
movie. Departed. Singing in the Rain. Singing in the Rain.
Yo, I wear my emotions on my face.
5, 3. Singing in the Rain. Damn. Shit. 5. That's hard, man.
Just give him 3. Come on, Doc. You killing him.
He got 5.
I got 5. I'm just so many, bro. Like, so Predator.
We the mastercraft.
Singing in the Rain. The Departed.
Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain, bro. That shit is ill. Damn. What's my man name? I want to give it up to Ryan Coogler, man. Creed, the first Creed. That shit, like the first Creed. That was like, yo.
Stallone ruined Creed 2. I just want to say that. That was like Rocky 8. One was so beautiful.
The fifth one, my fifth and final pick, I will give to. Damn. I want to say, I'm gonna put When They See Us by Ava DuVernay. That was like, that shit was moving to me.
DuVernay.
DuVernay, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my 5.
Fire. All right, Julian. I got a question for you. You know where there's a difference between an artist and a rapper, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What are the top 5 artists that's better than most of the rappers? That's an artist.
But so they're artists, but they rap, right?
They're better than any rapper top 5 artists that are better than any rapper that you know.
Well, that's tough. I mean, that the wording, you know what I mean? Like, I could give top 5 artists that rap.
No, top 5 artists that are better. Everybody rap.
Sorry,
got a lot of dope rappers, right? But artists that's top 5 that could eat any rapper.
I mean, that's tough, man. Because then I would be saying, they could eat me, and I'm not gonna say.
I mean, you are.
No, but you gotta also think of people like I see what Docs is talking about. People like CeeLo, like shit like that.
Yo, a friend of mine posted.
Okay.
Something crazy. I just want to throw this out there.
Yo, you always chopping in, man.
You know what, man? Let me put my shit on
put it on mute, man.
Chill back here. Me and Silky gonna chill. Me and Silky gonna.
This guy. We gotta get him his own segment, man.
He gotta get his own show, man. So,
I don't know, man. That's a
think about it. Think about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's your favorite artist?
Of all time?
Top 5 artists.
Of all time, top 5 artists, Pac.
You don't think Pac can kill any rapper?
No, that's what I'm saying. He raps though. So that's what I thought you meant. I thought you meant when you say artist, do you mean another genre or you know what I'm saying? Artists that raps too. Because there's dudes that just rap, there's dudes that make great music.
More so hip hop.
So Pac,
that's number 1 or number 5?
There's no order. That's tough to, I'm just saying I'm gonna just say my top 5 favorite artists. You know what I'm saying? Pac, Hove, Prince, Kid Cudi, and
that's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Kid Cudi and I'm gonna go with artists. We just talking about artists. I'm gonna go with I said Jay-Z yet?
Yeah.
You know I love Pac. You see Pac.
Jay-Z twice.
No, I love Pac.
Jay-Z twice.
Well, he deserved it. He deserved 2 slots. I'm gonna go for my last pick though. Nah, for real. For my last pick, I'm gonna go 3 Stacks.
Nice.
Versatility is just
definitely my top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, history.
Yeah.
Let me get your top 5 performing artists.
Performing artists. All right. From hip hop or just artists period?
Artists period.
All right. Well, I'll do. Can I do like 7? Because it's like I want to add like
5.
All right. I'm gonna just. All right. I'm gonna go with. I'll be watching a lot of these performances, so it's like real fresh in my head that how dope these dudes are.
It could be people that people never heard of too, because I know you be
right.
I mean, I just go with people that people heard of. I mess with LL Performance, LL Cool J. I like how he rock. I think Prince,
superstar.
Yeah, Prince is, the illest. I really like what's his kid name? Black Rob. Black Rob when he was in his prime and he was performing. Look up his Whoa performance at the Terminal, one of the best hip hop performances ever. Who else? I like Curtis Mayfield. I look up his like little performances a lot because he don't have like a lot of videos and stuff out that people put up. So I love Curtis. Go a lot of his. Yeah.
I'm surprised you ain't say Kanye yet.
I was that would
have been and Kanye, of course. Yeah, Kanye. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. My man, Professor.
What's good?
Yeah. I want to ask you something. What's your top for any person that has a home studio? What are the most important plugins, top 5, you think they should have in a roster?
It's a good question.
All right, so if you're a producer, you need Melodyne, Easy Keys, Scaler. And these 2 cheap plugins, RX 950, which emulates the Akai SP 950 or RX 950, and then they have SP 950, which emulates the SP 1200. Those joints is $20 a piece. So if you're producing, you want that because it's going to give you that raw feel of your drums. Also, Waves SSL collection. If you can't get all the Waves SSL collection. You know what I'm saying? If you're just a recording artist, Complete Ultimate or Slate digital
you saying that? I'm talking about one plugin.
That's a bundle. That's a bundle.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So one specific plugin, auto-tune for people recording at home. Again, SSL. You're gonna need those.
Which SSL? There's a lot of compressor, EQ. Which
channel?
Like, which
the compressor.
The compressor over the
because to me, the best EQ. I'm sorry, you get mad at me if you won't, Docs. Fat Filter Pro Q.
Okay.
It's fire. So you need Fat Filter Pro Q, and then Auto Tune.
SSL compressor.
SSL compressor, yeah, and then what's that? 4?
That's 2. I mean 3. You did 3.
3. All right. For vocalists or vocal line, which I still need to get.
1 second.
And fifth one. A good reverb. Valhalla room verb.
Valhalla. Okay, that's some good ones.
That's a dope one.
All right, last but least, anybody got any top 5s for me they want to ask?
Who's your top 5 engineers?
Top 5 MCs.
Engineers is tough because I don't have too many top 5 engineers.
Well, and it's not tough for us.
Which one?
You asked us 5. We gave you 5.
So you want the MC?
Man, look, who can name 5 engineers?
I can name 1.
5 engineers. I can name some.
I can name more.
Besides Docs and Kaz. 5 engineers.
No, let's go with Docs. Yeah, give us some MCs, man. Give us
Stop reading off your waves list.
Top 5 MCs, Doc.
That's my favorite. That's people I learn from it comes online and just checking them out and seeing how they deal with certain frequencies and EQ and stuff like that. But you said top 5 MCs?
Yeah,
top 5. Yeah,
that's a tough one, man. DMX.
Who?
What? Yo, Doc, I want to come by the studio and record some songs.
That's one of my.
Let me know if I can get through.
Big L.
I want Kaz engineer.
Big L. So DMX, Big L. Kool G.
DMX was the shit, yo.
Damn sure it was.
You said Kool G Rap?
Yeah, Kool G Rap.
Okay.
What's it? Grandmaster Cash. What's that? Nah, what's that? What's the name of the song when they was in front of the stoop and they had the tight clothes on?
Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5 and shit.
Yeah. Like lyrically.
You talking about what's his face?
No,
what's his name though? Damn. Slipping my fucking mind. I know you talking about though.
We got to name him though. That's
the first. The first rapper, man, the one that spits first. What's his name? Shit.
Not his name.
Y'all know what song?
Melly Mel.
Oh, Melly Mel. Yeah.
Come on. I ain't want to say it.
Yo, Melly Mel. Every time I listen to the song, I can see everything he talking about.
Right, for sure. So you say Melly Mel is in your top 5?
Like fucking glass everywhere.
I mean, the only other person that paints a picture like that is like Nas paints a good picture, and I can't think of an
Kool G,
everywhere.
Kool G, Common.
Common.
Let me finish answering my question.
Finish your list, man.
Yo, that's 4.
Yeah, that's
Turn my shit off. Turn my shit
off. All right. So, because Julian said a lot of ones I like, but Melly Mel, I apologize for not knowing that from the top of my head. You know what I mean? And, I would say.
Let me take a leak in this. Hold on, I'm just doing this thing.
Yeah, I'm not saying the same thing you did. So my last one, you already said Nas and Pac. So
did I say Nas? I don't remember, but I should have if I didn't. But
if you who's an MC that I'm like, yo, I'm gonna give it to one of my new cats, man. I love Benny the Butcher, man.
That's top 5 all time right there, or
I think Benny the Butcher.
That's nice. That's nice. I mean, yeah, that's saying a lot right there.
That's your list. That's your list, bro.
Yeah, he's gonna
be a good look.
Yeah, that's it, man.
next time we gotta do those around the horn so we can stop muting.
Yeah,
the ESPN around the horn joint.
We just want to thank anybody whoever did watch. We want to thank y'all for watching, and we're gonna keep trying to do this.
You all.
Yeah, and we gonna.
Oh, Julius, by the way, I just looked it up. That movie I was talking about on Amazon, it's called Silent Brave. That's the one that we did and won some stuff.
What's it called?
Silent Brave.
Okay, cool.
By Jami. I did the audio and the score for that.
Right, cool.
I think it's on Amazon Prime. Yeah.
All right, I'll check it out.
Broken.
Yeah,
yo, and before we go, man, all of you in here, I'm about to start a podcast called Padded Room. A little bit more production based, and Docs is actually part of my Padded Room Council. Shout out to Docs. And I'm building my website, Fresh Produce Blog. So we'll be reviewing drum kits, VSTs, giving all types of mixing tips and everything. But yeah, I got that jumping off for the next couple of weeks, man.
Oh, and
like shout out to
your brand too.
Shout out to Bed-Stuy. The job I work at is a non-violent organization. So we speak out against gun violence in Crown Heights, Bed-Stuy, the Bronx, the hoods. Bed-Stuy, between Gates and Nostrand, Gates and Marcy, I'm sorry. It's been 2 years since they had a homicide. So I'll drink to that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the SOS team in Bed-Stuy.
History. You want to shout anything out before we leave? Any projects you're working on? Any thing we need to look forward to?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just released a beat tape. Professor might dig this one. I dropped one called One Last Donut in dedication to Dilla. So
email it to me. And we staying on after this, right, Docs? Or we all gonna hang up?
I'm about to get off of this, man.
I'm out. I gotta watch last night.
Hey, post your email and contact info in the chat, and I'll get at you after this. This all y'all cool. Sleepy.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying, dog? You some suck ass. What I gotta say.
What's in that cup, man? What's in that cup?
I thought I was sipping on something. I don't know where he's sipping on.
Save us some. Whatever you're sipping on, we need some of that next time.
It's called what again? History?
One Last Donut.
One Last Donut. Yeah.
Julian, you got anything you need to look out for?
Man, just Docs would know because right now we just fine tuning it. Well, Docs is doing a mix on it too, but I got some music coming. And also just look out for, hit me up on the Move Media page as well. And we, looking for another engineer too. So hit me up as far as that goes as well. And,
if any of my kids are tuned in, y'all need to study up.
Okay.
For Move Music.
Oh yeah, and shout out to that too. The professor with his organization. We was able to do something. Docs.
SOS Neighbors in Action.
Yeah, Docs, you want to talk about that too?
No, we keep it for next time. I want to go to Julius. You got anything that you're working on? Anything you want to promote right now?
I just want to say, you can check all the Sunny Side Down Productions media film on Amazon Prime. Got Ploy up there. I got One Shot up there. Be hitting the film festival circus once this pandemic stop. Just working on stuff. Peace to everybody. Wear your face mask. Stay 6 feet away from me, man. Jersey, you know that.
Facts.
Yes, please.
And me, I'm always working on stuff. I might be dropping something next week, man. I don't even know, man. I'm crazy. So if I always make new music. Right now, I'm focusing on D. Julian's project, which is pretty amazing. One of the hottest hip hop records that's gonna be dropping whenever he drops it. And no pressure. It's
dope.
Gonna be something
fire. D. Julian, man. Hey, post me your information too, man.
Got you. I'll text you. I think I got your number actually. I'm gonna text you.
All right, yeah. Well, text me because I ain't got your number.
I got
you. Also, we just want to promote the company, Move Music Media.
Move Music Media.
We do photography. We do videos. We do recording music. Right now we're looking for engineers. If any engineers want to learn, you don't have to be the greatest, as long as you know the the beginning techniques of engineering, you know, holler at us or holler at me at movmusicmedia.com. That's MUVE Music Media, and my name is AMIN, Amin at movmusicmedia.com. If you're looking for some work, you know what I mean? We can give you a job. Holler at us.
Dope.
Got you, D. Julian.
Cash, what up?
I think I'm gonna be putting some. I'm gonna just put a collection of tracks and from all genres actually, from the past probably 2 years of production. Put them on the website. Some of them will be open for download, and some of them will be for licensing, and some would be just basically just examples of work. You guys can check that out in leatherjacketmusic.com.
Thanks.
And I think some films are there as well that I've worked on, some just events, a bunch of stuff. So anything that's cast related, you guys can find in leatherjacketmusic.com. Email me there in info or cast at leatherjacketmusic, or hit me up on the Instagram joint or here, or I'm here.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So, everybody sign off when you want. I mean, thank y'all for popping up. I know, everybody's time is valuable. Time is money. So I really want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I know that's some sentimental shit, but really, for real. I mean, you don't have to come up on the video for an hour and, show your face and give your information. So I'm very grateful. Thank you.
All right, peace.
Yo, I just put my information in the chat, so y'all copy it and hit me up. Yeah, man. I mean, y'all ain't got nothing else to do. Educate yourself, man. Get better at what you do. Saying, like, yo, you got artists in here, you got filmmakers in here, you got like docs and casts. I've been in mad studios in my lifetime.
All right.
Yo, they know what they doing.
Thanks.
They know what they doing. I got songs that my kids did there that can get on the radio. Easy.
Go.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna end this.
All right, y'all.
All right, peace.
All right, y'all. Have a good night.
Yo, History, take my information. Hit me up.
Yeah, I got it, bro.
Peace.
All right, bet.
I got it.
Yo, Black Thought versus Andre. Who y'all got?
Black Thought.
All
right, bro.
Yeah, man. Text me right now.
All right. I got you. Peace.